Good day, sir.
Hello. I would like to buy a hammer.
Very good, sir. This is Bloodington's, the premier retailer of fine quality hammers in the western northeast Okanagan.
Well, I saw the sign hanging above your awning.
Ah, yes.
Well, I need to buy a hammer, so...
I'm very sorry, sir. We've had this problem before.
Yeah?
You see, that is, in fact, an oversized simulated hammer, constructed primarily of plywood and not at all suitable for actual carpentry.
I understand. I wouldn't try to pound a nail with your sign.
As wise as your beard is long, sir.
Well, a hammer, please.
Certainly. Did you have something specific in mind?
Just a hammer. Just something that I can...
Please hold. Yes? Yes, he's here now. A most unpromising fellow, vile and disreputable. The festering stench of desperation. The dim light of a minuscule intelligence faltering behind his eyes. Just a hammer, he says. Just a hammer. Oh, you're terrible. You're just evil, my dear. Evil. Au revoir.
What was that call?
Oh, nothing of importance. It was a phone call for my boss. He's in the back.
Your boss.
Yes, Mr. Ticonderoga Steinem Iffel Trisenberg.
Your boss, Mr. Ticonderoga Steinem Trisenberg.
He's in the back.
I would like to buy a hammer, please.
For what purpose, sir?
Does that matter?
Oh, kind sir. My dear, sweet, simple, kind sir. If I had $1 for every time someone had given me $1, well, I would have several dollars.
I'm building some garden boxes.
Ah, how industrious. Let us consult the big book. Mr. Ticonderoga Steinem Trisenberg, we are consulting the big book. May I suggest the Lomax claw-peen hammer, a light, airy hammer, ideal for outdoor use, during acclimate weather, of course. She gets a little unpredictable in the rain or cold.
Rain or cold?
For that, you'd need the all-weather model. Lomax makes them, but it's a special order, and that takes longer, because it has to be special ordered.
Special ordered?
Special orders will arrive within 2 to 4 weeks, sometimes 2 to 36 weeks, sometimes 11 to 12 weeks. If you're going to be doing a lot of rain hammering, I'd suggest something from our Regency line. This year's model...
Whatever you got in stock. There. That one.
That one.
It's a nice hammer. I'll buy it.
The Johnson 500. A sturdy household hammer. A reliable choice, if somewhat uninspired. Rather pedestrian, if I may say so, sir. This is typical. So like you. I should have known you'd pick the Johnson 500.
Well, then perhaps not. There, that one.
The Apollo. Really, sir, look at that flashy red paint. It's hardly more than a tarted-up Johnson.
I don't care.
Yes? Yes, he's still here. And punctured and T-boned, I'm sure. This loathsome beast. This dog's breakfast. This rat's nest of infatigo and nascent xylophilia. Oh, yes. Goodbye, my dear. Call back soon. Yes, I'll still be here. My God, this day simply will not end. Arrivederci. Pardon me.
Another call for Mr. Ticonderoga Steinem Trisenberg?
Yes.
Seems to be a popular guy.
Mr. Ticonderoga Steinem Trisenberg knows many interesting people. He's a well-known man of mystery and intrigue. He's the Buddy Rogers of the western northeast Okanagan.
Wow.
Now, really, sir, if you insist on skimping out on price, I insist you not skimp out on quality. We have many fine models in your price range, I'm sure. Here is the Saturnalia, a festive little number, composite handle, good grip, unusually wide spread on the claw. Notice that? Or the Raven, a sporty black model, new this year.
What's the banger? I like the sound of that. Banger. Nice. I'll take it.
You'll take it. Sir, I really must protest. This is a ball-peen hammer. Sir, you can see that as well as I can. Surely, The Banger, by Jeffrey D'Angelo, is a high-quality hammer. The handcrafted hickory handle doesn't only look classic, it also dissipates shock waves, which is perfect if you're looking to reduce stress on your hand. With a 40-ounce head, it is the meatiest ball peen of its class, ideal for any type of mechanical work, but entirely inappropriate for building garden boxes.
I'm sorry!
Sir, if you refuse to take the business of buying a hammer seriously, then I'm afraid I may need to ask you to leave, and I'm afraid I may not be responsible for my actions. Hello, Bloddington's Fine Hammers. Oh, it's you, love. Yes, still here. Yes, he is still here. I know. Did you hear the part about the ball peen? I thought I was going to die. No, I played it straight. Oh, worse than that. Dumb, but not regular dumb. I mean dumb like a cow or a llama or something. A farm animal, you know, but one of them really dumb ones. Yes? 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 Goodbye. Now, I hope you come to your senses, because I simply cannot, in good conscience, sell you a ball peen hammer to build garden boxes.
Fair enough. Was a bit silly of me. So then, if I have indeed come to my senses, and if I'm going to take the business of buying a hammer seriously, well, quite seriously indeed, well, then I would say that the ideal hammer for assembling garden boxes, and the hammer which I would like to purchase from you today, would have to be a croquet mallet.
How dare you? How dare you? I will not have that kind of talk in this shop. Out! Out with you!
Maybe I'll build my garden boxes with a gavel.
Out!
Or how about a sledgehammer?
Out! Confound you! Mr. Ticonderoga Steinem Miffel we need more fruit.
Come in.
You wanted to see me, Jack?
Gabrielle, yes. Shut the door. Have a seat.
Closed door meeting. This must be serious.
Well, kinda.
Okay.
Gabrielle, I just wanted to make sure everything was okay.
Everything's great, Jack.
Really?
Why wouldn't it be? You know we just landed the Johnson account. I told you how much they like the quality of our work.
Yes, you did tell me that.
Unless that's not what you meant.
No, that's what I meant.
Well, then things are good.
So, as you know, Glenn's going to be retiring next week.
Yes.
That's going to leave a big hole in our company.
Well, he does have a lot of experience.
I know you and Glenn didn't always get along, but he speaks very highly of you.
Really?
You sound surprised.
I guess I am.
Yesterday, he was saying how amazed he was that you landed the Johnson account. He's been trying to get that account for years.
I worked for 6 months on that strategy. I'm just glad it worked out. We're working on Howard Construction next, and I think we've got a really solid plan of action on that one as well.
Anyways, Gabrielle, I wanted you to be one of the first to know that I've decided to appoint David Markham as our new sales manager.
Why?
David's been in the industry for 10 years.
15 years.
He has a master's degree in business. He has extensive experience in handling long-term management.
More than me? I don't think so.
He has a level head, and he'll be able to fit in.
The rest of the team already come to me when Glenn's not around. And sometimes they come to me when he is around.
David has a different skill set.
15 years of my life I've given to this company. I put up with answering the phone all the time, ordering the office supplies, refilling the freaking stapler at the front desk because that misogynist jerk Glenn said I was the one wearing a skirt. And I sucked it up. All the crap. Being called the office girl, even though I was doing everything the men were and more. I told myself it wasn't going to be forever. I am bloody good at my job. The clients know it. When they have a problem, they call me. And now you're telling me that you're going to give the job you knew I was working towards to someone else? Yeah. I'm a little upset.
I couldn't give you the job, Gabrielle.
Yes, you could. I'll make an excellent sales manager, Jack. You know that.
It's already done.
Undo it.
Gabrielle,
Jack?
I can't give you the job.
Why not?
You know why not.
Pretty sure I don't.
Do I have to spell it out?
Evidently, because I'm pretty smart and I can't figure it out. So maybe just spill it, Jack.
Gabrielle, I couldn't give you the job just because we've had a relationship.
Is that what we had?
What would you call it?
I don't know. A relationship would indicate that both parties are equally involved and invested. And that's not what happened between us.
Gabri,
What? You made promises to me, Jack. Promises that you broke.
it was a mistake.
Which part? Leading me on? Having an affair? Us? It was good, Jack. You know it was.
It was wrong.
Didn't feel wrong.
It was wrong.
Ah, well, that explains everything.
Things were bad. Emma and I, things weren't working, and I stopped trying. And she was so withdrawn, and everything I said or did was wrong somehow. And there you were, looking like you do, and being so nice. And with you, things were better. Marriage is it's a long-term investment. I shouldn't have been looking so short-term. And then there's the kids, Jason and Susan. I have to think about them. We've been to counseling, and Emma's on medication now. Things are better now. Things are okay.
Well, with me, things could have been better than just okay.
Oh, it was just, I thought it would be just the one time.
So did I, at first.
But you were so supportive of everything, of me, of what I wanted. With you, everything was just, I don't know, it just,
It was good. You said you loved me. I think you did,
I did, Gabrielle, I did.
but not anymore.
Gabrielle, I'm married.
Well, that didn't seem to be a problem before,
I'm not leaving Emma for you.
but you were going to.
What was going to happen, Gabby? Did you think about what was going to happen next? You weren't going to let me move in because you didn't want things to look bad. I'd have to move out with nothing. Nothing. I'd be living in some crummy rental apartment because I'd have to give Emma the house and the child support and maybe spousal support on top of that. Starting over with secondhand furniture and dishes from the discount store.
But we'd have been together.
Right. What was the regional sales manager going to say to me about that?
We would have worked it out.
It wasn't going to work.
You and I, it's over. I get it. I accept it. I'm mad and I'm hurt, but whatever. That's not what today is about. That's not why I'm in this office right now. I'm in this office because you're giving my job to someone else.
It's not your job.
It should be. It should be my job. I've wanted that job for... It's my job.
We had a relationship.
Yes, Jack. I know. I get it. But I'm still me. It doesn't change how I work. It doesn't change how the clients see me. It doesn't change anything.
Doesn't it?
It shouldn't.
But it does.
I am still the best person for that job, Jack.
I know.
I'll probably quit and go work for the competition after this.
I know.
Maybe I'll call Emma, tell her everything.
You could, but you won't. I know you.
Just give me that job, Jack.
Gabrielle, I can't.
You won't.
I can't.
You won't.
No, I won't.
There will never be another girl like Dee Dee Bowman. In the halls of our high school, she reigned supreme, an earthbound goddess clothed in Tommy Hilfiger, Calvin Klein, and intoxicating indifference. With her frosted blonde hair and fierce green eyes, she was the epicenter of every social event at the school. Her devotees clustered around her, smiling and laughing, their faces filled with adoration. In our grade 12 year, she was the photo editor for the school newspaper, the undisputed star of the track and field team, the lead in the annual musical. Every girl wanted to be her, and every guy, and a couple of the girls, wanted to be with her. Even after the accident, she lost none of her allure, none of her effortless command. Instead of being crushed by her family's loss, she was elevated, transformed into a martyr. I remember watching her from my locker, from across the cafeteria, from my desk 2 rows behind her in Mr. Clemens' History 12 class. I had to force myself not to stare at her, not to gorge myself on her ferocious beauty, her sharp, proud features, her lithe, precise body. She was the first person I thought of every morning and the last person I thought of every night, breathing her name as I fell asleep. In my final year of high school, in the final months before everything changed forever, Dee Dee Bowman was the single most important person in my life. But I never spoke to her, not a syllable, until that chilly afternoon in late April, in the dungeon. The dungeon was an unfinished space under the high school auditorium. Over the years, the dungeon became home to the detritus of the school. Broken chairs, cracked desks, dead film projectors, stacks and stacks of painted flats, the relics of decades of theater productions. The dungeon was dark and dusty and so cold that I could see my breath. But it was also my sanctuary. On that chilly afternoon in late April, I was sitting on a pile of cinder blocks, eating a corned beef sandwich and trying my best to stay warm. I was just about to start reading the new Piers Anthony novel when I heard a voice.
Hey.
I froze, holding my breath and wishing I were invisible.
Hey, is someone down there?
I knew that voice. It wasn't possible. It couldn't be. Not in a million years, but I knew that voice.
Devin. Devin Powell, I know you're down there. I saw you sneaking down the stairs.
It was Dee Dee Bowman, and she knew my name, my real name, and she was walking right towards me.
Hey, Devin.
Students aren't supposed to be down here.
Then what the hell are you doing down here?
Mr. Canby, when I stage managed Fiddler on the Roof last year, he gave me a key, and he didn't ever ask for it back. He knows I come down here. We have an understanding.
Sure you do. This place is actually pretty interesting. I've always wondered what's down here. Some of these flats are ancient. So do you have a smoke?
I don't smoke.
No, of course you don't.
Why did you follow me down here? Why aren't you up there with your friends?
I don't know. Sometimes the drama just gets to be a bit much, you know. Everyone wants to tell you their secrets, everyone wants your advice. It's just so exhausting, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Sometimes it's nice to be someplace where it's quiet, where I can be alone with my thoughts.
Right, sure. I've actually got some books I have to return to the
Hey.
library.
calm down. I wasn't trying to get rid of you. So, what do you do down here all day anyway? Just spank your monkey and then eat your lunch till it's time to go back to class?
I wouldn't. I mean, I couldn't. I mean, I'd never...
Relax, Devin. God, you have no sense of humor whatsoever.
I have a sense of humor.
You do.
Sure I do.
All right, prove it. Tell me a joke. Now.
What's black and white and red all over?
God, that joke wasn't very funny in the 2nd grade. And it sure as hell isn't funny now. A newspaper, obviously.
Nope.
Not a newspaper.
Uh-uh.
All right. What's black and white and red all over?
A baby panda in a blender. Get it? Dee Dee?
It's a very funny joke, Devin.
Oh God, Dee Dee, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. I just thought that maybe that you'd...
It's fine, Devin. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just that when I was a little girl, my parents took me on a trip to the Calgary Zoo to see a pair of giant pandas on loan from China, Chi-Chi and Kun-Kun. We waited in line for 45 minutes to see them, and I was so excited, so thrilled to see these giant teddy bears come to life, only when we finally got to see them, they just looked so scared, so exposed, like 2 freaks on display for everyone to take pictures of. It was the saddest thing I'd ever seen. I cried and I cried and I cried.
Dee Dee,
My stepfather was furious with me. He refused to talk to me for the rest of the day.
I had no idea that
I
would...
still have nightmares about those pandas sometimes. Their big black eyes.
I'm so sorry, okay? It's just that you make me nervous, and I was trying to impress you, and I just thought that you'd... Dee Dee?
In addition to having no sense of humor, you're extremely gullible.
Oh my God.
Didn't you get the memo? I'm the best actress in the school. Pandas can go screw themselves. So I make you nervous, huh?
A little.
Well, let me assure you, I pose no threat to you whatsoever. Not unless you piss me off. It must be difficult for you up there with all the surface dwellers. I mean, I know what they call you.
Baby Fester at your service.
And all the things they say about you. About how you spied on the girls while they were changing into their costumes during last year's show. That's not nice. That's not fair.
Who said life was nice and fair?
I don't know. I'm a big believer in divine retribution. I mean, if people started spreading rumors about me, if they called me names, I'd put a stop to it one way or another.
It's not that simple.
Life is remarkably simple. If you're not afraid to stand up for yourself. Don't you ever wish you could get back at them, make them pay for all the hell they've put you through?
I don't think about stuff like that.
No. Of course you don't. God, it's really freezing down here, isn't it?
You don't have to stay.
Here, let me sit next to you. Keep me warm, baby Fester.
And suddenly I was sitting with my arm around Dee Dee Bowman. Suddenly I was all alone with the girl I hadn't stopped thinking about for the past 2.5 years. This couldn't be real. I wanted to scream. I wanted to hide. I wanted to sing. I could feel her thin shoulder underneath her sweatshirt, her hair pressing up against my cheek, her leg pressing up against my leg. I could smell her perfume, sweet and citrusy and strangely intoxicating. I would have given anything to stay like that forever, but I knew I had to say something, anything. I was sorry to hear about your stepfather. I used to see him walking your dash hounds in the park all the time.
Argos and Annie.
What happened was a real tragedy.
Mrs. Freyden says that people overuse the word tragedy. She says that, according to Aristotle, an event can only be classified as tragic if it involves a great hero falling from a tremendous height. My stepfather was no hero, and he only fell 3 stories.
Still, it was really sad.
It was what happens when a piss-drunk piece of crap falls headfirst into concrete paving stones.
You must miss him, though, right?
Sure. Sometimes, I guess. This was his lighter, you know.
Yeah?
Yeah. He bought it at some novelty store in Vancouver. He was ridiculously proud of it. Thought it made him look like a badass.
So why do you keep it? Is it a memento? Something to remember him by?
You could say that. I think of it more as a reminder.
A reminder?
Never to be afraid to act. Never to be afraid to fight. His eyes were always on me, Devin. Constantly. Whenever Mom was out of the room, he would make these pervy jokes about my breasts, about my butt, about how all the guys must be crazy about me. He started accidentally barging into the room while I was changing, and a couple of times he even walked in on me in the shower. So, when Mom made plans to visit Auntie Jess and Victoria for the weekend, I knew I was in trouble.
He didn't ever...
He didn't get the chance.
Where were you when he fell?
I spent the weekend at a friend's house. Listen, I better get going. Laura M. and I are doing a presentation in English, and if I'm late, she's
You
gonna-
didn't... I mean, Dee Dee, you didn't...
When the neighbors finally found him, he'd been lying there for a day and a half.
God.
There were these weird puncture marks all over his face and back. It took the coroner a while to realize what had happened. Poor Argos and Annie must have gotten hungry.
Dee Dee,
What we talked about here was private. Remember that, okay? Goodbye, Devin.
that was the last time I ever talked to Dee Dee Bowman. It was also the last time I spent my lunch hour in the dungeon. When I woke up the next morning, there were 2 police cars in my driveway. There had been a fire under the auditorium in the unfinished basement. The whole place was gutted. Due to the smoke damage, the theater was going to be closed indefinitely. But the firefighters found a scorched copy of a book, Isle of Woman by Piers Anthony. It was signed out in my name. 2 weeks of psychiatric evaluation, 18 months in custody, 6 years of counseling for my antisocial personality disorder. I don't know why what happened. I don't know whether it was a warning, an offering, or a secret act of love. All I know for sure is that there'll never, no, not ever, be another girl like Dee Dee Bowman.